Rand's Magazine, Episode 3, at the British Supreme Court. This escapade takes place as Ryunosuke and Sasato visit Lord Strongheart to report on the outcome of Mr. Natsume's trial. They find a flustered Inspector Gregson attempting to solve a very taxing problem before his time runs out. February 9:17 a.m. British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. Here we are again. Every time we visit here, the atmosphere in this place seems to get more and more overbearing. Just think, we could be at home with Mr. Sholmes and Iris having a nice, cozy breakfast. But we have a duty to report the outcome of the case, especially since we're guests here in Britain. So I'm afraid this visit couldn't have been avoided. Suppose not, but is there even anyone here? You could hear a pin drop in this place. It's too solemn for its own good. It's very quiet, isn't it? The only sounds is the ticking sounds of the great clock as it keeps perfect time. What was that, I wonder? The usual comforting sound of the clock seems to have been joined by a less comforting shuffling sound today. Right, something's disturbing the rhythmical ticking. Sounds rather like an unfit middle-aged man running from pillar to post clumsily. Who are you calling unfit? Oh, Inspector Gregson, what are you doing here? What am I? Ain't it flaming obvious? 58 seconds remaining, Inspector. We'll have to talk later, sunshine. Good morning, Lord Strongheart. Wow, he's really looking fiercely at his pocket watch today. And good morning to you. Business so early in the day. Oh, yes, well, I mean, it's about the other day, We are to deliver a report, Lord Strongheart, as our dealings with Mr. Natsume are now over. Yes, the little Japanese man. I've already cast my eyes over Van Zeek's report. I must say, the outcome surprised me. I thank you for a job well done. You are too kind, my lord. It's not here, and it's not over there either. I hope you don't mind me asking, but what exactly is the inspector doing? He's been whoring around between the bookshelves, looking beside himself with worry. He's looking for a particular work, The Lion's Pride. Now there's an all too familiar title. I heard it was a popular tale, so I obtained a copy from the rental library. However, it wasn't able to maintain my interest, so I soon cast it aside. I happened to notice a vacant spot on one of my shelves at the time, so I duly stowed the book there. Unfortunately, I no longer remember where it was. Nope, not there. They're not there either. Come on, where are you lions hiding? The book is due back today, so I asked Gregson to locate it for me with his investigative prowess. Inside 5 minutes. I must say, I've never seen anyone working so hard to find something. He's like a man possessed. Ah yes, that's because his month's salary is staked upon the outcome. At whose instigation? Let me guess, the stony-faced lord. And the 5-minute time limit? What's the significance of that? There's none. Just my vulgar, mischievous spirit showing itself, I'm afraid. Oh, by your own admission. Ah! I can't. My feet are killing me. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up, Inspector. Which means that next month you will work unpaid and have no days off. No days off. Rip. There really are just so many books here. It's overwhelming. For some, perhaps, I've purchased every book, new or old, on the subject of law from all over the globe. Wouldn't have believed it a few short decades ago. A place like this couldn't have existed. What do you mean, Inspector? When I was a lad, no one ever dreamed of buying books. Oh, I see. Western books are such a luxury items. I suppose, with their leather covers and fancy bindings. No, that's not it. Oh. There was a tax on paper, see? On paper? Yeah, I mean, it was abolished about 30 years back now, but it used to be the case. There was a tax levied on any kind of paper. So obviously that meant most folk couldn't afford to buy any books at all. Ah, so this is why places like Rental Library you mentioned before came into existence, Lord Strongheart. Indeed, vestiges of paper's tax system. You could say the general public considers books as items for hire. London is home to a vast lending library of some 3.5 million books. You couldn't hope to read all of that even if you were reincarnated 2,000 times. Even I would choose to rent a book rather than purchase it if I knew I would read it infrequently. The subject of tax has actually surprised us already in the last few days. It came up in Mr. Natsume's trial. It seems that the window in his room was filled in due to some kind of window tax. That would be true. Fortunately, the window tax was abolished here some 40 years ago. Sadly, in the East End in particular, many windowless houses remain. Britain's always had a bit of a thing for tax and stuff. Whatever they can tax, they tax. Sugar, salt, tea, coffee, you name it, candles, beds. Wait, sorry? What was that last one? Did you say beards? Beds. Yup, the beard tax. Never heard of it? Never! Why should people have to pay money just because they let their facial hair grow? May as well ask. I suppose it's because it makes them look self-important. The Naruhodos will have a strict family policy of no facial hair, I think. You can relax. The beard tax was confined to the annals of history long ago. Even so, it's clearly something the British really love. Paying taxes, I mean. Paying them. Got to back it front, sunshine. You can't deny you've had a lot of funny taxes over the years. Never find anything like that in Japan. Would you, Mrs. Sato? In actual fact, I'm afraid to say that you would, Mr. Naruhodo. What? No, you don't mean. Surely there's never been a window tax in Japan. No, but there have been similarly obscure taxes. For example, in the Edo period, there was a frontage tax. What was that? It's a tax not on windows, but on the entrance to properties. Oh yeah, about that. The larger a property entrance was, the greater the tax that was levied on it. Even today, some mansions survive with extremely narrow entrances due to the old form of taxation. I had no idea. So you Japanese are twisted as us Brits. But we never had a beard tax. I mean, that's really going a step too far. Well, no, that's not true. I'm not aware of any taxes for beards, at least. What do you mean, at least? Well, rather than tax them, the shogunate did once prohibit them outright. The ruling class prohibited beards. It was called the Great Beard Prohibition. It was an Edo beard edict. But why did the powers that be want to ban beards? Because it makes people look self-important? Just an idea. It would seem the rulers in the East and the West have had very similar ideas over the years. There have been other unusual taxes in our history, in our current Meiji period. There have. For example, though it was before either of us were born, there was a rabbit tax. There was a tax on those adorable fluffy creatures like the ones who make mochi sweets on the moon? Yes, and it was an extremely large tax too. The government demanded extraordinary sums of money. This just gets stranger and stranger. What was the reason for that bizarre tax then? Well, after Japan opened its doors to the world, there was an unprecedented rabbit boom in the Meiji capital. Boom? Yes, keeping rabbits became hugely popular and new species were traded at exorbitant prices. People were even swindled out of all their money for exotically colored rabbits. Like recolored chicks, I suppose. Hard to imagine though, rabbits are so timid and quiet. One would have thought one could bankrupt you. So in response to a worrying social vogue, the government imposed a rabbit tax. I suppose they couldn't just ignore the problem. And it worked because the rabbit boom came to an abrupt end. 6 years later, the tax was abolished. Well, I hate to say it about my own country, but Japan is strange. There's more. After the rabbit tax was abolished then, of course, society reacted by launching straight into a second rabbit boom. Oh dear. The government didn't think that one through, did they? Your ideas about the world are very much altered by the position you hold in society. If you are responsible for the ruining of the country, you will feel the need to raise revenue keenly. Without a stable taxation system, the whole country would go down the drain. Well, yes, I suppose so, but some of these taxes... That's precisely why ministers of state use their wiles to invent new and novel ways of taxing the public. Novel ways? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, if you were one of my country's statesmen, me, a British statesman? Yes, what novel tax would you impose? Pray, give us something truly original. Inside 5 seconds. Think of something that everyone uses, Mr. Naruto, that really squeezes every penny out of the population. Oxygen tax. That's quite an intense stare. I'm glad Sasada-san is in charge. Your time is up. So, what's your answer? Air maybe? Yeah, how about air? Air tax, you say? Oh, well done, Mr. Naruto. A truly novel and fiendish idea. Well, everyone has to breathe, so while the population is inhaling air, my government is inhaling money. Blimey, you're a tyrant of heart. A somewhat radical solution to a country's revenue problems, but sadly not an original one. No, you mean to say? Surely not. You mean the tax on air has been imposed in the past? It was last century. The finance minister of our neighbor France proposed it. What? If I ever go for a visit, I'm holding my breath. Unsurprisingly, it was strongly opposed by the public and soon scrapped. The minister didn't last long either. Oh dear. Oh, clearly that would have been an untenable situation. The public at large are a force to be reckoned with. Don't I know it? How about you, Inspector? What new tax would you impose? Let me see. My first thought is a tax on objections. Sorry? Been hearing far too many of them recently in court. There's a particular lawyer I have in mind as it happens. So I think an objection tax could be very handy. Good to see you don't allow your personal feuds to influence your work in public office. I reckon 5 pence for every objection raised would be about right. A most amusing proposal, Gregson. A most unamusing proposal, my lord. Well then, I think it's your turn now. Sorry, my turn for what? Why, what else to look at the missing copy of The Lion's Pride? Oh, it's on the shelves in this room. Of that I am certain. Now I shall give you 10 minutes. And let's stake your student stipend on it, Fail to find the book, and you forfeit next month's payment. Oh, objection! Your time starts now. Oh, and one more thing. I believe you just said the word objection. Kindly leave your 5 pence over there before you begin combing the shelves. This tax is going to be the death of me.